Oh man, podcast, boy, podcast. They do anything to be successful. Popular podcast glorifying a former pimp and sex trafficker. If you're interested in hearing about how these podcasts promote sex traffickers, glorifying sex trafficking, stop right here. This is the video for you. This is the Faces caseworker. Uh, I'm pretty disturbed. I was checking out. What is it? The Big Podcast. And they got this guy Pimpin Ken. You never heard of him? He is supposedly the greatest pimp that ever walked the face of the United States. Because I don't know if they have pimps in Saudi Arabia or Africa, but this guy here has been glorified for decades, saying that he has had more women than you know it. Um, but recently, he's been on the big. What is it? The Big Podcast. That's Big Podcast. I think that's what they call it, right? And this guy here is glorifying escapades and ways of manipulating women to sell their bodies. Now, he says that he didn't manipulate them, but the Faceless caseworker will let you know that most of the women who are prostituted have all been abused sexually, whether it be through family members, whether it be through rape from strangers. However you look at it, they have been sexually abused. It's documented and researched. I, the Faces caseworker, have a psychology degree, also a human services degree, also is certified in substance abuse counseling. I've taken multiple trainings on all type of stuff. And when it comes to trauma, trauma is one of them. Uh, Sex abuse. Most people who have been sexually abused and who are sexually promiscuous usually have been sexually abused. Not all, but most. Pimpin Ken says that, oh, these women volunteer. Of course they volunteer. When your brain has been hijacked and doesn't understand how things work out, yes, you will do some things that if you didn't have that mind state and weren't traumatized, you probably wouldn't do it. But here we have Pimpin Ken. You know, he walks around with his expensive glasses and shoes, suits. Before he used to wear those clown suits, looking like somebody from a black exploitation movie. That's a whole nother story. But here we have Big Facts Podcast. This guy, Big Facts, whatever his name is, they're glorifying this guy because he's had stables of prostitutes, sexually abused women, and I guess they think he's a big shot just because he made money, and he said the women chose him because he had a Rolls Royce. Pimpin' Ken. But this is what we have in the black community. People like Big Pimpin' Ken as role models. All right, I'm sure he has a sharp hairline and goatee, but we shouldn't be glorifying this guy. All right, he's still going around talking pimp stuff, and this could be our daughters. This could be your females in your family. But yes, he would still say that these women chose it. Now, like I stated, if you've heard in the previous videos, Faces Caseworker, I lived, I grew up in the streets in the Bronx, moved, in Queens, and I hung on the streets, and I was around all types, drug dealers, pimps, you name it. And no, the things that people did, well, were not things that you would want to talk about. But when you hear pimps glorify stuff, they will act like, that these women came to me, but no, you probably hunted them down. You knew which ones you were looking for. Big Pimpin' Ken and the Big Pimpin' or Big Fats podcast he admits himself that even the tricks um, can see a woman who has been abused and can track them out. But what about you, Mr. Ken, Pimpin' Ken? Clearly, you say you got wisdom when it comes to women, but I think you have wisdom of spotting women who have been abused. How is Pimpin' Ken even free? So many pimps and stuff like that, and those who are actually um, glorifying it. And he admits in the podcast that people have, the Hollywood glorified it, and then the pimp started getting arrested and things like that. But he tries to state that, yeah, at one time pimps are glorified. Well, a lot of things are glorified. Slavery was glorified at one time too, right? We gonna walk around and saying, I was the biggest slave back then. I had the biggest plantation. No, Pimpin' Ken, what you're doing is not a good thing. All right. Yeah, you're selling books about how you're this and that, you're a player, but are you really a player? You took advantage of abused women. women who didn't have fathers, women who were taken advantage by adults. Most of these women were abused at young ages. But here, you thought you were saving them, right? In your sick mind, you think you're some kind of hero. We're here, Pimpin' Ken. The faceless curse worker does not believe that you're a hero. I think you are the typical poison of the black community who portrays this type of life. You know, the thug stuff, the pimping, all this stuff got to go, man. We're rising up nowadays, man. Right? I was in the street. I gave it. I'm not glorifying it. It's nothing good about it. But here, you still. I don't know how you're probably pushing 60. You know, you can dye your hair all you want, but we know, pimping Ken, what you're doing is not a very good thing, man. And any man, once he has a daughter, starts realizing it. When we're young, it's all a good game. But when you have a daughter, you'll realize this ain't cool. And pimping Ken, I'm not feeling pimping Ken. You know what I mean? And the big facts podcast should be ashamed of themselves. But this is the internet. People do anything for views, um, and our own population of people in America have to check themselves because we're the ones that allow this type of stuff to go on. This man versus woman stuff. And I think we need to stop it. There's nothing great about pimping. Pimping Ken, go get a pimping job, man. You said you got you got gift to gab. Go gift to gab yourself a job, man. All right, promoting this nonsense. All right, somebody send this to Pimpin' Ken. Yeah, I'm sure he'll try to send me a message and try to pimp me in my ears. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, man. Save all that corn clown coon stuff for somebody else, man. When we're hearing this Faces Case of podcast, we're talking about rising up. We rising up from all this nonsense, foolery, and igadom that people still promoting and promoting and promoting through society, man. We need to stop people like him. And he's mentioning Kevin Samuels in a podcast as well. But here's the thing: Kevin Samuels is not a pimp. Kevin Samuels is trying to help people, however you want to take it. He feels his message is helping. Pimpin' Ken's not helping. Pimpin' Ken is just saying, yeah, I got the gift to spot out a woman who's easy to manipulate. And I got this Rolls Royce and some chains. And the fact that they have no understanding of a male role model, they're going to ride with me. And I'm just going to use them for their bodies to make myself rich and keep it going. So Pimpin' Ken, you're not cool, man. All right. Please subscribe if you on the same page as me. We need to get rid of dudes like Pimpin' Ken out the neighborhood. They're not productive. They're doing nothing good for us. All right. We need people who are going to get educated. We're going to rise up. We're going to do civilized things. We're working on a high frequency. We're not working on a low frequency of pimping and drug dealing and robbing and promotions and old block and shoot up this and that. If that's where you grew up, you should have enough sense if you made it out to get out of there. All right. And that's really all I have to say. You go check it out. The podcast with Pimpin' Ken and the Big Facts podcast. I'm not feeling this guy. I know I've seen him around. When I was younger, he may have fooled me because he had a bunch of girls. But I know the truth now. And you're nothing good for this society. You're nothing good for the black community. So Pimpin' Ken gets a thumbs down, man. And it's the Faces Caseworker, man. Please follow me if you like this type of subjects. If you're looking to hear stuff that rises the community, please subscribe. That's all I had to say for now. This is the Faceless Caseworker. Until next time.